ladies and gentlemen, now today I wanted to make a quick boss guide and tips and tricks video for the All Might boss toward the end of chapter 5. I've seen so many comments and got a lot of messages about people getting stuck on this boss, so I decided to try it on my free-to-play account, and I did it 3 times a Deku, and I could not get him below 50%. Like, the health on this man is absolutely insane, and also one thing that makes him so difficult as well is he doesn't get knocked back. So it's really hard to kind of get an opening. He's constantly firing attacks off at you, and everything just goes a little bit crazy. And this was my very first try with Kirishma here, so this try isn't perfect. Even my better try isn't perfect as well, but Kirishma is like 3-4 times better for this fight in comparison to Deku. And the reason for that is Kirishima's Q ability actually reflects damage and creates an opening on All Might, and this is incredibly powerful considering he's hitting you like an absolute truck. So yeah, Kirishma, I found, just made this fight so much easier in comparison. It's still a very difficult fight, but also when I went in initially with Kirishma on this try, I didn't have him properly upgraded, so he's just under like 5k power. I don't have any of the cards equipped, the talents, like I have nothing invested there, so yeah, there's like a lot of additional firepower that you can get on Kirishma if you're at this point in progression. But from my testing this morning on my free-to-play account, if you are free-to-play, you need to build this man out. He's so incredibly valuable for hard-hitting boss fights, just because you can easily counter abilities and like stand in them as well and reflect the damage back. So yeah, he's just absolutely ridiculous, man. And as you can see, as the fight progresses on, kind of we get the counter timing a bit more down, and that is kind of the main thing, man, is just getting used to kind of all the animations that All Might's throwing off. He's got like a wind-up punch, he's kind of got like this barrage of punches, which telegraphs a big like line attack in front of him, but then he's also got his massive slam crash down, and it's so easy to avoid that if you press Q right at the point where the circle is fully expanded and he's about to jump down, because then you don't take any damage and you avoid it. So this one, I think we actually failed the counter. I did it a little bit too early there, so yeah, you need to be very, very right on the timing on that one. But his big kind of frontal telegraphed attack, that was a very easy one to avoid. You can see we got the counter there, we just kind of create an interval and opening, but when he's pounding way in front of him, that is the opportunity to like either counter or quickly dash behind him there. And again, it is going to take you maybe a try or two to kind of get used to his animations, because he is like a very crazy character. And again, with Kirishma, this is my very first try here. You can see we get a fantastic counter on this. We are literally on the ropes now. We get a super clutch assist from Gravity. Again, I don't have any assist cards or anything like that, but then we charge up to another ultimate, we fire that off, and this man is almost down. We just need like one more counter and we smash him straight in the bin there. So yeah, that was my very first try with Kirishma. I found him so much easier in comparison to Deku, because my Deku on the free-to-play, he's like just above 6k rating, man. He's actually really, really stacked, and yeah, I just couldn't make like a solid enough dent in this man to even get close to killing him. But that was first try with Kirishma, under 5,000 rating. So just to show you, this is my build and rating on Kirishma here. Again, we got 4,821. So in comparison to my Deku on the free-to-play, who's 6k, again, the rating is significantly lower. And I think with all of the available resources, if you look at upgrading like gear as well, and kind of building out talents and kind of waiting a few days if you really are struggling. And again, this is my card setup, dude. I had absolute trash cards on this man. Like nothing really of significant value. So for the second try, I kind of equipped like a few cards there. I got so lucky on my free-to-play account. I actually managed to get one of the best support cards in the game, the Mastermind card, and I wish I had this on my whale account. But for the next try, again with him slightly jacked up, I didn't want to like overpower him too much, so yeah, we left that card on the bench. You can see we actually didn't have any of the talents built out as well, so yeah, I got like nothing in terms of the talents there. So again, this is a very basic tactic any free-to-play can use if you spend a bit more time building out Kirishma, but yeah, he just works so well for this. But again, if you are struggling on this fight, it is difficult. All Might moves very quickly, and again, you never knock him back. You never stagger him at all, so he's very difficult to get under control. The only time you can really safely attack into him is when he's kind of firing off that big cone ability. There's a big, like, telegraph in front of him, and he's kind of caught up punching there. But yeah, that really wasn't, like, an amazing counter there. On my second try, I think it starts off a little bit rusty, and then we get good, so we put on the counter right as he lands there, and we get the straight in, like, massive immediate damage as well. So again, it's all about kind of perfecting that counter timing. And on both of these tries, like, neither one we have absolutely perfect timing, but in comparison to the first try, we do a little bit better on the second one. But kind of like watching back and analyzing this gameplay, the best time to use your E move, I believe, is again when he is telegraphing that massive attack in front of him, and you don't need to worry about him like instantly turning around and smacking you and interrupting that attack there. So yeah, there's definitely like a lot to learn from like playing this fight and also watching the gameplay. But again, if All Might is handing your ass to you, dude, just don't feel bad. He is All Might after all. Like, this guy is just an absolute beast, and he is so much more difficult than anything else that comes before him in the story. So yeah, I think that we're actually a little bit too early on the counter for that one, I believe. So yeah, again, the timing is very precise if you just want to like maximize that counter damage. I think we failed that one as well. But ideally, the thing you do want to use your counter on is the unavoidable wind-up attack. So that one is a really, really good one to counter, because like that one's a little bit tricky to dodge there, whereas like the telegraph's attack in front is very easy to dodge. Plus there's also like a good time to get behind him and dish out a little bit of damage on top of that as well. So yeah, this fight, man, is really, really cool. Like, it gets me excited for some of the future challenging content in this game, because this is literally only the beginning. There is a mode of gameplay that unlocks at level 27 called Night Ops, and it's crazy, man. It's like 3 bosses back to back, and the final boss in the first one, at least when I've tried it so far, is a giant Nomu. So yeah, if you like this kind of challenge in a game, man, it looks like My Hero, the Strongest Hero, is definitely going to have a bit of it, but also due to the progression systems as well, again, there are many ways to get more power in this game in order to make this content like easier over time as you summon more, upgrade the characters, sort out your gear, sort out your talents, collect new cards which power up your characters even more. So yeah, there's a lot of power systems in this game to help players progress in PvE content and deal with some of these really difficult bosses, but also in a fighting game like this, it is very skill based. You need to understand what's going on, what attacks the boss can use, how to dodge and deal with every one of them, and again, you get better and better at this every single time you fight, as long as you are paying attention to what the boss is doing. So yeah, this last try was definitely like a lot cleaner than the first one, but it did have a little bit of a rocky start there, and a nice ultimate move with a huge amount of overkill to finish off. So yeah, if you haven't upgraded Kirishma, you're making a big mistake. Again, he's pretty much essential for free-to-play progression, at least with my experience and understanding so far. So yeah, just an insanely strong character that I highly recommend investing in. So if you're still a little bit confused as to how exactly his counter ability works and what it does, I just want to give you guys a quick breakdown as well. So when you activate it, you enter a 2-second defensive status, which starts out with 100% damage immunity, but decreases over time. So the closer you time this counter to the actual hit, the more damage reduction you get. So again, the better you get at playing him, the stronger the damage reduction is going to be. So do keep that one in mind as well. And when damage is taken during this defense status, the status is immediately removed and Kirishma will automatically use Red Pursuit to counter and knock the attacker airborne. This then deals 330% attack as damage plus 870 damage on top of that, and accumulates and fills up 100 will points, which kind of links to his passive invincibility as well. Plus also during the counter frame, he's invincible during the counter back as well. So this can help to prevent additional damage there, but if no damage is taken, and again, ideally you want to avoid this by timing your counter right before the hit is going to land, but if for whatever reason it fails, he's still going to throw an attack, but it's less damage and you get less will points as well. And again, will points kind of feed into the the passive, which automatically triggers, at least to the best of my understanding, which gives you immunity to all damage for a certain period, but also for every hit that you take, it decreases the hardening meter. So it just gives you more uptime if you time these counters well, unlike Invincible, so overall you're taking much less damage if you can really get the timing right. But again, Kirishima, the core of this character, is all about timing those counters correctly, and it takes practice with every new boss that you're going to fight, because you need to find out exactly what is the point in the animation or telegraphed attack that you can actually fire this off, get the counter, get the massive damage, and get the in on the opponent. So yeah, that's basically the main thing you need to understand about Kirishima there. But aside from that, it's spam E to headbutt when you've got a good opening as well, because the headbutt deals some really nice damage as well, and you can use the W ability to kind of close gaps and deal a little bit of damage there. But again, like, the main thing to focus on, again, to get through any fight, is just like timing those counters really well, and also using the ultimate whenever it's available. And if you can get those perfect dodges, again, that's gonna be a really nice time. Again, mine is A rank. Got a little bit lucky. It's actually pretty easy to get up to the A rank on free-to-play account, but you can see even the A rank ability, like, isn't really that essential. The A rank ability just gives you like an additional almost 7% damage decrease, so again, very nice to have, but we don't have him S or SS, so, you know, if you've got him even higher, you can get like massive additional damage on the combo, and also get like even more damage and even more will, so a higher uptime on the invincible period. So yeah, if you're big whaling, you can stack out your Kirishima. Again, you're going to be absolutely laughing with this man in all sorts of PvE content versus giant bosses there. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you enjoyed today's breakdown video and also boss guide for the All Might in Chapter 5. And if it did help you smack this man up, please do smash that like button. That'd be greatly appreciated. Thank you all very much for watching. Take care, and I hope that you have an absolutely fantastic day.
You are not subscribed to the whale sin of spending? Who decided that? Subscribe now, or enjoy the bitter taste of regret.